U2, right, an Irish band, and I happen to be like Martin from Northern Ireland, so a band that's very passionate. I couldn't find a picture of me without a beer in my hand, so no picture. Here today, I know all your students, we want to learn something about experience. How can you experience better than being in the middle of that concert? And I have tried a fast track here. Here is what I think, and I work in the event industry a little bit too, so I'm not just writing, but I think you have to be a good, I'm not fast track because I don't write in your mind, you have to be a good timekeeper, I have to multitask, I have to be highly self-motivated, I have to be a problem solver, I have to be a good communicator, I have to be blah, blah, blah. It keeps going on. Creative and innovative, alright? Some events really wow, other events don't because they lack creativity, they lack innovation. I think it's a really good thing to have this morning in this college, what they've set out to do. We need more innovation in tourism, we need more innovation in events, because quite frankly, a lot of events are quite stale. It's the same. Just refabricated. There's no value added, there's no innovation to it. Let's innovate more, alright? We need eye for detail, we need budget consciousness, we need a very good sense of humor, alright? Some people are laughing. Good. We need to have sense of humor, and most importantly, we need Red Bull. All right. We need energy when we do these events. All right. So these are my top 10 plus Red Bull. All right. And then later on, probably a Cena, a beer. All right. Okay. So events create this very, very often, and very much true. Just like this event, in a few hours, one day. It took many months of planning to put this together. Several thousand emails. I know. I got about at least 50 of them. All right. And what we try to do in this little period of time, we try to inspire, we try to offer escape. In the middle of that big concert, you're not thinking, oh, I have an exam to do, all right? You're not thinking, oh my goodness, Scott has told me I need to get a project in. And no, you're not thinking, you're not like, oh, I have bills to pay. You're not, you're actually escaping, all right? And hopefully in here you're engaging and you're networking, all right? And if this event isn't doing it for you, then it's not succeeding, all right? Now, I'm going to talk this morning for a little bit, and I believe it's completely important is the event concept. I cannot forget about planning, logistics, and managing, and particularly for me, very passionate, is the event shutdown. Say thank you to people at the very end. You know how many thank you letters are not sent out at the very end, or you don't even keep in contact with your sponsors, and so on. And throughout the year, you forget about the media. Just when you need them, I'll just call them again. It's not the way to do events, all right? So I don't focus on the event concept. You get the event concept wrong, it doesn't matter how good a planner you are, okay? There's going to be no bums and seats because it's boring, all right? Event concepts can be winning, all right? And here's some winning event concepts. And I put some up here because some are brand new, some are recurring, some are cultural, some cost no money. The one with the water costs no money, all right? But many people come to Thailand for the water festival. Okay, but it costs very little, only a bucket of water and a big squeezy thing, alright? We have in Finland, they have the wife carrying competition. I haven't the time to tell you the rules of the wife carrying competition. You can look it up yourself, it's very interesting. The voice, just a new concept too, right? Everybody has the voice. You know, and event concept, to me, you have to go through a system. But particularly, you need to get what is the objectives behind the event. What do I personally want to get out of this event? And what is the objectives of this event? Alright? Because at the very, very end, you're going to have to think to yourself, was it to make money? Alright? Was it to network? Was it to learn new skills and knowledge? Was it to create loyalty and retention to PATA? I want to become a PATA member, I want to keep coming back to PATA. Or you can say, you know, PATA? I don't know, I have other tourism organizations. So you have to think, is it exchange ideas? Alright, I have lots of ideas, you have lots of ideas, let's exchange some ideas, alright? To celebrate, alright, so many years of PATA. Alright, I'm celebrating to create an image, the image of PATA, and a reputation as a world-leading travel organization. Launch something and sometimes we close things, alright? Like Olympic Games and World Cups, alright? So that's another reason why. Have a good time, alright? Actually, most events are have a good time. I don't think people go to concerts and say, I'm here for a rotten time. I'm here to be sad. I'm here to be, you know. People come to events, including this event, to have a good time. People travel all over the world to have a good time. And to remember something from the past. We reminisce. Many event objectives, and maybe one event has many of them, but unless you set them out very clearly at the very beginning, How do you know that this event today is going to be a success? Right? So you need to put dollar signs, percentage signs, and so forth. And I know in your academic classes you hear the word SMART and all that, SMART objectives. But unless you know what the reason you're having the event, and it's very, very clear, how do you know you actually were a success? Here's some things I have added, all right? And I know I have a textbook, and some of you are reading my event textbook, and I have written lots of blah, blah, blah. And you listen to my ranting and raving about how do you organize events. But here's some little things you should do to your event to make it really, really special. We have celebrity endorsements, so you bring a celebrity, right? We have Perry sitting at the side. Perry is a celebrity. All right, so anyway. I know. So, yes, Chris is working on celebrity status. And we have cultural attributes as well, being cultured. And people forget because you live in Thailand, you use it every day. But when I come here for the culture, the food, the language, the drink, and so forth. Alright? So don't forget that your own culture that you live in, you forget about it because it becomes part of your every day. That is not important. It's very, very important for people overseas. And that's part of the reason why they come to your event. Add in cultural things, you will see how successful your event is. Add some value to the program. Add a theme to the program. I'm going to talk a little bit about this as well. Partner with people. Get some sponsors. The sponsors need to spend their money. Believe me, today with all that advertising, you want to cut through the clutter. One way to do it is they sponsor things because then they get all that positive publicity. All right. Get endorsements from very big people who want to also get the publicity value. All right. Some people say sponsorship is difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult if it's well placed and well managed. And you go for the right people, they have money to spend. Just make sure you give them reasons for it. It could be a one-off event, so everybody wants to see it because it's never going to happen again. It could be an exclusive event, alright? The music industry is very good at exclusivity, and the movie industry is very good at it. I mean, they brought the Titanic out last year, you know, and it's a 3D version. There's about you can exclusive DVDs, everybody wants to buy those movie DVDs because they're very exclusive to 1 million people. But it doesn't matter, it's exclusive. You can create loyalties. You put some loyalty programs so they keep coming back. And you can have mystery. Man of mystery. Event of mystery. What's going to happen there? Alright? Advertising companies are very good at teasing people with teaser ads. Alright? It really works. People love mystery. I just came back on Saturday. I was in Abu Dhabi seeing Metallica. Does anybody know who Metallica is? It's a super cool heavy metal band. I still can't hear out of my left ear because I was right at the front stage. Alright, and so, who guessed I'm a Metallica fan? I love black, you see. So I flew in with 3 friends deliberately to go see Metallica in Abu Dhabi, in the middle of the desert, no aircon, believe me, 25,000 people sweating. They only did one concert this year in Abu Dhabi. They flew in and flew back to America. That was very special, one-off. So we all flew from Macau, 8 hours. Let me tell you how much I spent. Whoa. Alright? There was so many value added to this concert. Alright? And in the morning we went to Ferrari World, we had a great time. And of course there was a Metallica party, it was a fantastic concert, there was all these add-ons. Alright? And I met people there flying in from Europe because it was a one-off concert. There was all these values. Alright? This concert was absolutely packed. Packed in the middle of Abu Dhabi. Alright, who would have guessed? And to my satisfaction, there was a big Heineken beer tent. There, big offers. So there we go. I'm maybe, anyway, keep going. When you come to an event, you have some decisions to do. You can actually keep the same event, you can change it a little bit, or you can come up with a completely new event. And there's certain things you have to ask yourselves, right? It's credibility, it's magnitude, what do you need, particularly resources, the risks that you may have. There's many types of risks that you may have when you host an event. And you have to ask yourself the best fit. And when you have destinations holding lots of events, am I having these events, does it fit in with the branding of my destination? Is it really fitting? Or is people going to be confused? Why am I holding this? Now, I think in Abu Dhabi was very good. There's a lot of stuff in Dubai is manufactured. The buildings and the experiences and the theme parks and so forth. So it works really, really well. Alright, so you have to think, if I'm in a cultural environment, maybe Metallica ain't going to work so well, all right? So you have to think about best fit. I think that's wrong. I think that's one of the biggest failings of events sometimes. They don't fit it well, all right? It's just square into the circle. And people are confused. You actually, whether it's repeating and so on, you have to think of its attractiveness, its relevance, and I think also this morning we're talking about creativity and innovation, all right? And actually its potential that it can actually happen. Lots of great ideas out there, but that's all they are. And then all of you tourism students here, we all talk about tourism planning and tourism planning and tourism planning and master plans and master plans. The problem is, they're still just plans. And they sit on desk and they sit on desk and get regurgitated and they go back on the hamster wheel, and then 1 year later they get reviewed and they're still planning. Alright, let's get off the hamster wheel. Alright, and let's get action started. Alright, and so lots of great ideas when it comes to events. Make them happen. 6 months, could you make it happen? Can you make it happen in 3 months? Alright, great ideas in the tourism industry. Many of them never make it to the actual staging process. Alright, you know, some events are very, very good, you know, like American Idol. You know American Idol? So here's one event that suddenly went all over the world. It just showed you how some events and entertainment can be fabricated all over the world, like Formula 1 is. And probably Singapore was the only one, in many ways, to get a little bit of value by doing it at night time. You know, here's a good idea. We could run it during the daytime, but oh no, let's make it more troublesome for ourselves. And we're going to have to make lights around a racing track. You know, and there's Singapore taking a creative age. You know what I mean? Every Formula 1 is fairly the same, like American Idol and Canadian Idol and many, but all they had to do was, you know what, we'll do it at night time and we'll have rock concerts at night time. Perfect, because a rock concert, believe me, I went to Ferrari World, and guess what, people who like to race, listen and burning petrol and burning tires and all that, we just love rock music, so it's really tied together. You understand? Singapore, spot on. Who are the participants, what are the background, and what are the motives? There you are, 3 students, write that down. Background, motives, and who are they? Rugby sevens, it's in my textbook. I love this because over 90% of people that go to rugby sevens keep coming back year after year after year after year, which is great for marketing purposes because all you have to do, remind them. Alright? 90% that go to the rugby sevens just have to be reminded. And by the way, they've already put it in their calendars for next year anyway. So you just send them a quick email and say, don't forget to get on the airplane. And I have been to the rugby sevens. I know that Martin has too. And I have been there, and I think Ivy has because she's laughing. So, I have been there, and I have been there with several friends who don't even know the rules of rugby sevens, but it didn't really matter, because as you can see for the sponge ball fans, I don't even think they can see the rugby ball. But there's many, many reasons why people get involved in events. It's not because I know any rules about Formula 1, or I know any rules about rugby, or about football. There's a whole pile of reasons why people are there, alright? Keep that in mind when you open an event, that the people who are there and their profile and their motives are different. And if you do not put an event together that satisfies as many of those motives and experiences and expectations, your event will not be a success. That's successful. Homework. Here's what you do. I'm not asking you students to do homework and send me by email a 2,000 word assignment by Monday morning. But here's what you should do. Has it been done before? Has the competition done it before? And if they are they doing it better? If they're doing it better, then you have to do it better. Or don't do it. Particularly in the world of tourism destinations, you have to realize that tourism destinations are very, very competitive these days. And they're trying the event industry as a tactic. It's a big tactic. It's probably the best tactic and the most used tactic by any tourism destination in the world right now. Let's hold events. But let's hold events that can bring in the tourists. Make them stay longer, spend more, and widen your tourism. So, has the competition done it before? Who attended? Why did they attend? What is the budget? And you know something about events? And I think in tourism in general, and Perry will probably agree with me because we're academics as well, the lack of research that we have, and the lack of intelligence we have, because we just don't know, because we never asked anybody. Why are you here? When you come back again, who were you with? How much did you spend? Simple questions. Do we have the answers? Sometimes not, because all the money goes on the planning, the staging, but nothing on research, or limited. That's a big failing in events, because we don't have intelligence at the very end. Realistic time frame. Venue selection, some super cool venue selection. Last week I'm in the middle of a desert. It's pretty cool. There's not much there. It's just heat and sand. Right? That's it. But it's different, because normally I'm in a big air-conditioned place like this. I don't sweat so much, right? But you can have it at forts, museums. You know how hard it is sometimes to get things sometimes at ancient monuments? Why do you have to look after them so much? Why do you have to gift wrap, put those bubble wrapping around them? Bring in a professional event organizer, he can take care of it, all right? Show off your culture through events, through giving us your venues. Give us your beautiful heritage sites. We'll take care of them. Well, you should take care of them, obviously. All right? I know one hotel in Cambodia that does weddings at the Angkor Wat temples at night time. I've seen photographs. Beautiful. And I had a friend who had a birthday party there. Isn't that fantastic at night time with the lights from the temples and the cultural dances? Let me tell you, it's probably better than a birthday party inside a hotel room. Venue is very good. What are the risks? What are the contingency plans? All right, so we know the risks to events and so forth. And do you have any plan Bs? You know, and I always say, because in sometimes with events, sometimes they say, you know, there's a lucky draw, but it's at the very end. Why do you have to do that? If your event's so good, you don't need a lucky draw at the end as the incentive to stay. Take it away. Let's see how good your event is. Nah? Great value. I'm going to give you a couple of 2 clues. I have 5 minutes left, maybe. I'm an event person. I should be really time conscious, right? Get creative with your marketing and promotional use. I love the Facebook cartoon here. Check me, please, please, please. You know, it's because all of you here, WhatsApp, WeChat, you know how many times my students are not off the internet and social media and WeChatting and so on. You know how much it costs? It costs nothing. Right, I put up some of the Chinese ones because once I heard this marketing guy talk about marketing in China and he didn't realize they don't have YouTube. Alright? Right? 520 million people online. What is your social media in China right now? YouTube ain't gonna work. Twitter ain't gonna work. Oh, well there we go. You know, you have, if 520 million people are online, what is your social media strategy? And what I ask people in event management is, in your marketing department, do you have a name card which says social media manager? You know how many people don't have one? Please, anybody here, show me a card of social media strategist. And you know what the problem is? Mind thing. Because a social media person has to work 9 o'clock to 6 because that's their normal working hour. What do I always say to people? When do people go on social media? After 6. There you go. That's when your social media strategy team should be working. After 6 to 4 o'clock in the morning. In the case of my students, probably 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. By the way, they're so tired in the morning. Oh man, I had to do my homework. It was like really, really hard. I said, guys, get off Facebook. And lunchtime, there's where your social media strategy should be. 520 million people in China online. What are we doing about it? Okay, biggest travel market in the world. What are we doing about it? As a conversation, you will get criticism. You know what? People don't like criticism. I know today some people will say, Glenn, your talk was absolutely rubbish. I'll take it. I'll be upset somewhat. Me and Perry will go out and analyse my talk and we'll have several beers and we'll forget about it. But accept criticism. If your event isn't good, do better next time. Understand why was it not good enough? From many dimensions I mentioned before. As a conversation, it's social media is a conversation. Get conversating. Get conversating. Be creative and innovative in social media strategy. Alright? Be innovative and creative. Alright? Last year I was the event consultant for the Venetian and the opening of Sands Coast High Central. I did a social media strategy plan in China. It was one of the first things that I did. Alright? Get creative. It happens at lunchtime and after 6 p.m. Alright? Get out.